Let's go over day 2 of our pop-up room project, inspired by the artists Roy Lichtenstein and Vincent van Gogh. Today our focus will be finishing drawing our rooms and adding color. So last time we learned that many artists have used the rooms in their homes as subjects in their artwork. Here are a few examples from the pop artist Roy Lichtenstein. Roy Lichtenstein's artwork is known for having a limited color palette, meaning he only uses 3 to 4 colors, which are usually the primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow, plus black and white in his artwork. So here we see an example with blue, yellow, a little bit of orange and red, a tiny bit of green on the plant, and then a lot of black and white. So Roy Lichtenstein is also known for using patterns in his work. And Roy Lichtenstein's most commonly used patterns are dots and lines. And then last time we also learned about how in 1992, over 100 years after Van Gogh painted his original bedroom painting, Roy Lichtenstein created his own version of the Van Gogh painting using his signature pop art style of black outlines, bold primary colors, and patterns like dots and lines. So on the left, we see the original Van Gogh painting, and on the right, we see Roy Lichtenstein's version of it. We also saw how in 2020, Roy Lichtenstein's painting was adapted into a 3D room that you can walk into at the Modern Contemporary Museum in Amsterdam, which is in the country of the Netherlands. So today, what colors will you use in your room? What about patterns and textures? What types of surfaces and materials are in your room? Is there fabric? Is there wood? Is there tile? How will you show texture through color and patterns? So for example, here on the right, I have a room with a wood floor. So I created rectangle shapes for wood paneling, and then I colored in my shapes using a little bit of value around the edges to make each piece stand out. So let's go over the directions for day 2 of our pop-up room. So for your supplies today, you will need your room drawing from last time. And if you haven't started, you'll need a piece of paper, scissors, a pencil, an eraser, and a black marker to outline. Then we'll also need some coloring materials today. For mine, I used markers and colored pencils. First, finish creating and drawing your room if you need to. Then make sure all pencil lines are outlined with a black marker. After, choose a limited color palette using 3 to 4 colors, plus neutral colors like black and white and even brown or gray to color your room with. Don't forget to add patterns like lines and dots to show texture and variety. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So for day 2 of your pop-up room, we're going to focus on adding color to our room today. So you'll need your pop-up room drawing. You can finish drawing or doing any outlining that you need to, and once you do, decide what colors you're going to make your room. So when we looked at Roy Lichtenstein's work, we noticed that he used a limited color palette. A limited color palette means that you use only a couple colors plus neutral colors like black, white, and brown. So for this example of my living room, I used blue, orange, and green as my colors. And for my neutral colors, I used brown, black, and white. I also used patterns here, so we see some dots, some stripes, some bumpy lines. I used a rectangle shape for the flooring to make it look like wood panels. So think about what colors you're going to use and try to limit your color palette in your project like Roy Lichtenstein. And remember that you can use solid colors and patterns. So for my kitchen, I'm going to use 3 main colors, pink, blue, and yellow. And then I'm going to use black and white and maybe a little bit of gray. So I'm limiting my color palette by only using 3 main colors. I'm also going to try to plan out where my color goes so that my colors are balanced. So if I use blue on my rug, then I may try to use blue somewhere else, but not right next to the rug, maybe in a different part of my room. So by balancing my colors, it draws your eye to different parts of the artwork. I'm going to use markers and colored pencils for mine, but you can use any supply that you like. When I'm using mine though, I'm going to give my object an outline on the inside. So I'm outlining the inside of the rug here with my blue marker, going along the edges. And then I'm going to use my colored pencil to shade in the center. And then I'll add a little bit of value on the edges by adding shading. So my edges are a little bit darker, and that will make my object pop out a little bit more. So I'm just coloring with a medium value of this colored pencil by pressing down on it with a medium weight. So I'm not pressing too hard, but I am getting a good amount of color onto my paper. And then once I've done that, I'm going to press harder at the edges. And by doing this, I'm adding more value. Remember, value means the amount of light or dark in a color. And when your color is darker, it has more value. So notice how I'm going around the edges and I'm making it a little bit darker. Now you can see how my rug really pops out because the edges are darker. So then when I think about where I'll put blue next, I don't want it to be right near the rug. I want it to be somewhere else in my room. So I'm going to color in this vase blue, and that's not really close to the rug. So that works out for balancing my colors. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I outlined the edges, and then I'm filling it in with colored pencil, adding a little bit more value on the edges. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of my room, keeping in mind balancing my colors and sticking to my limited color palette of 3 colors plus black and white. Okay, artists, so I am all done adding color to my pop-up room. I hope you had fun learning how to create a pop-up 3D room and designing your own room, whether it's real or imaginary, using a limited color palette, plus black and white, and using patterns as well. I can't wait to see what you create. Have fun, artist!